Anyways, hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. So, today's format is a little bit different. I haven't really done a video just talking to the camera in a long time. It's been a while. I think the last time I did one of these videos was when I moved, and that was like 2.5 months ago. And that was like before I moved. It was like a good 2 weeks before I moved as well. So, it's been a while. I hope you are all doing well. And I am here today with something... Be quiet. I am here today with something a little bit different than what I normally do on my channel. Today, I'm going to do a story time because I have realized that my life has been sort of kind of full of a bunch of really weird, wacky moments that just deserve to be told out into the world. Does that make sense? Anyways, I'm here to tell you a story time because I did a poll on Instagram and poll shown here, and it seems that most of you actually wanted to see a story time video, so that's what I'm here to do today. Today's video, I like the title, is The Time I Thought My House Was Haunted. Take a minute to register that. Yes, I, Hannah Goodenough, Hanny G, of the channel Hanny Plays, will probably be renamed again at some point, thought my, childhood home was haunted. Great story, great experience. And this is what I'm here to talk about. So, I'd like to preface this with the fact that I was very obsessed with ghost hunting videos at the time. So BuzzFeed Unsolved, Jesse V's old, storytime videos about, haunted places and stuff like that were my jam. Anyways, so, I'd like to tell you about the time I thought my house was haunted. It is a story to tell. It's not a long one, so that's why I can record it in one sitting. But I am here to tell you about how this evening went into play. So for a picture, before we get started into the story, you need to know that my family lives in two houses, okay? So we have our main house, which has a basement and all that stuff and all that stuff. The main house that had been there for ages, okay? And, well, I don't know if it was ages, but it had been there for a long time. And back in 2011, 2012, we built an addition onto this house for my grandparents to live in because they wanted to move out of the city. It was a whole thing. So we built an addition for my grandparents to live in, and then my uncle, who was living with my grandparents, came to stay in our room in the basement. So it was a whole thing. So that's basically all you need to know. So we have the main floor, which is a giant hallway. Front door is on this side door. This is technically the front door, but we're gonna pretend this is a side door. Side door over here, and then behind our house was an attached addition, one floor addition, with a little heater room in the middle between them all. Anyways. Utility room is what it's called. Anyways, that's really all you need to know. You don't need to know the layout of the house because this is what happens. So I am minding my own business. We normally spent our evenings with my grandparents. We normally ate supper with them. Specifically my mom and I and my Uncle Son, or my uncle, I guess. And specifically me, my mom, and my uncle, because it was just fun. Also, we'd just sit down and we'd watch Murder, She Wrote. Who remembers Murder, She Wrote? Great show. Watch it. But anyways, so we normally spent evenings at their house. Well, this evening in particular, I hadn't practiced my piano in a while, so I had to go back to our house, and practice piano, because important, especially when you have a jam coming up. Anyways, so I went back to the house. I think this was back in 2017. I went back to the house and was like, let's practice piano. So I'm sitting there. It was dark out. It was nearing winter, so the sun was going down really early. So it was only 6 o'clock. 6:30, maybe 7 at the latest. Might have been later than that. might have been more around 8. I can't really remember. It was somewhere between 6 and 8. I do believe. Maybe later. No, it was definitely later. Okay, no, forget the times I just said. It probably happened between like 8 and 10:30/11, somewhere in that time vicinity. Anyways, so I'm back at the house. I'm practicing piano, whatever it is I'm playing, I don't remember. And I'm sitting at the piano, back turned to where our side door and our front door would be. So we have our living room on this side. So this is the front door, right? And our living room is at the farthest end of the house. And in between that is like a dining room, and the kitchen's right beside the front door. So anyways, I'm sitting there practicing, my back turned to both doors. And all of a sudden, I hear our door open, because at this time, our door had a very distinctive creak. Like our front door had a very distinctive creak that you always knew when that door was going to open. So I heard the door creak open. I didn't think anything of it, but considering the fact that it was late and all that stuff, I was like, oh, I'll see who's here. I'll just yell out hi. Maybe mom came back, maybe my uncle came back, who knows. So I was like, hi, hello, is anyone there? And no one answered. So the thing, I heard it creak open and like shut. So I stopped playing piano and I walked to the front door. I'm getting mixed up. To the front door, and I noticed that the blinds are moving, but the door is shut. No one had come in. And I was like, oh, maybe my uncle came back and just went back outside because he forgot something or whatever. So I looked out the window. No one's there. Anyway, so I'm like, I guess I missed him. Whatever, I'm pretty slow. So I was like, okay, I just missed him. Whatever, it's fine. Nothing weird. So I go back. I start practicing piano again. And then I hear the door open and shut again. And so this time I'm like, what's going on? So I walk back to the front of the house, and I once again see the blinds are shaking. It had been a good 10-15 minutes since it last happened. The blinds are shaking again, and the door is shut. No one's in the front. Look outside. No one is outside. Like, I didn't open the door or anything. I just looked out the window. So we had a deck. So for all I knew, no, we didn't have a deck at that time. So for all I knew, somebody could have just been standing off where I couldn't see them. Anyways, so I'm like, okay, this is weird. I don't like this. The fact that nobody's come in, I haven't heard anyone come in, and the door has opened and shut with the blinds moving, so I can't just say, oh, the door is just imagining it. The blinds were moving, like when you slam a door shut. It was like swinging full velocity back and forth. So I was like, you know what? I've practiced for like 30 minutes already. I'm gonna make my way to my bedroom, which was near the end of this very long hallway in our house, and just sit in there, and I don't know what I decided to do. I probably decided to write, knowing me. Go do some writing, go watch YouTube, whatever it is I decided to do. So I'm sitting in my room, and I'm just sitting there, minding my own business, being me, my weird self, and I hear our side door open this time, and we have 2 doors on our side door. One's like a wind door, and then one's like the actual main door. So you always know when that one's open, because the wind door like slams itself, so it's made of metal. So I walk out. This time somebody's actually there, and it's my mom who's come back, and right behind her is my uncle. And my uncle is, I looked at them and I'm like, okay, I was like, oh, okay, I asked them both, have either of you come back to the house through the front door? And both of them were like, no, we've been at the other house the whole time. And I'm like, oh, okay, both of you have been at this house the entire time. And they're like, yep, you haven't left. And I'm like, okay, and then both of them left again. And I was like, okay. So they left, went back to my grandparents' house to do whatever it was they were doing over there. By this time it was probably more or less like 10 o'clock. And so I went back to my room, fully creeped out at this point, because neither of them
Can you please get murdered on a different road? I'm trying to film.
So, I'm fully creeped out because neither of them been back into the house. And that door had opened to sun. Again, the blinds had been swinging like their life depended on it. Like they were swinging from the chandelier. Yes, so I was like, what is going on? So I'm creeped out. So I'm like, I'm just gonna hide in my room and pretend nothing weird has happened this evening. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. So I'm sitting in my room, once again minding my own business, when once again the front door opens and shuts. And I'm like, if you heard that, that was my phone telling me I got a text. It's Sherlock. Yes, I am that weird. So I walk out again. Nobody's there. Nobody's in the front door. Nobody's standing outside, and I am completely. At this point, I went back to my room. Okay, I'm like, I'm done with it. I'm not putting up with this. I'm not putting up with this. And I go back to my room. I literally pulled my desk in front of my door and was like, I'm staying here. So I was fully creeped out. And the reason why, like, we could say, oh, somebody was pulling a prank and opening and closing the door. Because, like, I lived in a small town, okay? Kids are weird in small towns. Like, everybody knows each other and everybody thinks they have a right to walk into each other's houses all the time. But anyways, so I am done. And then, it was by this time, it was like 10:30, 10:45, around the time that my dad would get home from work. And around this time, I hear someone knock at the door. And I'm like, okay, what is it? So I push my desk away from my door, and I walk out. And I'm like, if there is nobody at this door, I'm going to flip. So I walk out, and my dad is there. And I'm like, oh, okay, Dad's home, yay. Don't have to be alone in our house anymore. I am fully creeped out, I am done. So I go to open the door for my dad, but you know, he just had his hands full or whatever. And this is where it gets weird. Our front door was locked. Our front door, let me repeat this, our front door that had opened and shut 3 times, knew this because the blinds were moving, was fully locked. No one could have came in, no one could have gone out, unless they had a key. But nobody had their key because they were just at Grandma and Grandpa's. And also they had never left in the first place, besides that one time that they both came back. Which means that this door had been locked when it had opened and shut those 3 times. And my dad couldn't open the door, not because his hands were full and he didn't, but because he didn't have a key. Yes. It was weird. I don't know what to think. The door just opened and shut 3 times. Again, blinds moved, and it was locked the entire time. That was probably one of my weirdest moments. I can't fully say it's because the house was haunted, but because what was that? But because it was just, it's really, I don't know what to think. Like, our house had always given up me creepy vibes, specifically our basement. I don't like our basement. It's a fear that I've never gotten rid of. And anybody who comes to our house, at like my age, like my cousins will all agree, and like all my friends agree that our basement is really creepy, and nobody knows why. And like every now and then, if I'm downstairs, if I'm home by myself, and if I'm downstairs, which I don't do often, I'll like hear somebody like walk across upstairs, or I'll hear like footsteps. There have been times that I got so scared that I have a dagger. Okay, I own a dagger. Got it for like my 14th or 15th birthday. And I got so scared that somebody was in the house that I walked around our house with a dagger, and turned out nobody was there. Thank goodness I didn't stab anyone. But I just like to point out the fact that again, this door had been locked the entire time and it had opened 3 times with nobody going in and out. Nobody. I told this story to my friends at one point and none of them believed me. It is one of the weirdest things to happen to me to this day. And again, I'm not going to chalk it up to ghosts or whatever because I don't really believe in that sort of thing. I literally mostly don't. But it's just a weird experience that I like to talk about sometimes, and I thought I'd tell the story about it because it's an interesting moment. Maybe you guys let me know what you think. But again, door locked, blinds were swinging, so it fully opened and slammed shut, and like again, it has a creak that you can distinctively hear. Your thoughts? Leave a comment what you thought it was. No, but like seriously, it was really weird. I was really creeped out. And to this day, when anybody asks me, "Oh, do you have a haunted ghost story, haunted house / ghost story?" I tell them that because I have no explanation for any of it. If the door hadn't been locked, I could have chalked it up to stupid teenagers. Small towns are teenagers, so I could have just chalked it up to some dumb teenagers pulling pranks around town, but the front door was locked, so I don't know what happened. Anyways, if you have any ideas of what it could have been, if my mind was just playing tricks on me, you can leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, I don't know why, but if you enjoyed this video or even just the style of video, leave a like and subscribe for more stuff like this. I've got some story times that I would love to share. I've got a lot of hospital experiences that I think would be fun to talk about. But anyways, again, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Let me know about your ghost stories down below. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!